Hello, and welcome to Take a Food's Advice, the podcast that we just talk about some of our life experiences and some of the lessons that we learned along the way in hopes that you can take away some valuable life lessons. All right, today I got on here to talk about my husband was supposed to get on here with me, but he is very busy today. So um, I'm going to just talk about why we got into the trucking business and what you need to know to start your own. I've got a few inboxes, emails, um, people asking me how you get into it. And so I'm just going to start with just the basics and maybe we'll do some more later. But just the getting started part and why we actually got into this business. My husband said he got into it because I got into it. So actually, he was retired. He retired early. And so I was still working full time. And I just didn't like my job. And my one job I had been on for 20, 21, 22 years. So I decided to change career. So um, I went ahead, although I was praying for God to take me off of that job that I had been on 21 years and let me start my own business. I also own a jewelry business. And of course, the jewelry business, it's kind of slow. So it really picks up on like holidays and things like that. But so I had never ever in my wildest dreams thought of a trucking business. And so the last job I had, it was just really micromanaged. And I mean, even going to the restroom was, it just was too timed. Everything was timed. And so at my age, 53, I was like, if I don't try this business thing, I probably never do it. So just do it. So that's what we did. We just started, and I didn't know anything. When I say anything, one thing about the trucking business, never is something that I thought that I would do. So the first thing to consider, the most important thing to consider is your finances. What are your finances? How will you finance this business? Do you have any savings to finance it, or are you thinking about taking out a loan to finance it? Very, very important because the trucking business is government regulated. So there are a lot of things that you must do, and everything costs money. Everything you got to put money into. So get an idea of what you need and how much you're gonna spend. Your most important thing is your equipment. What equipment are you gonna use? So get into your finances. And a good thing about it, when we started, we both were pretty good with our finances, including credit. Make sure your credit is right. Make sure your credit is good because a lot of things they do price you, they do give you uh, the price. It differs from what your credit is. So sometimes you can, like insurance, if your credit is good, you're good. Insurance, there's something called BOC. Um, these things go by your credit. So if you have bad credit, you might be spending more, a lot more. So work on your credit. If you're thinking about getting your business started, definitely work on your credit. And you're definitely going to have to do that if you're going to try to get a loan anyway. Okay. And you gotta, like I said, you gotta figure out how you're gonna finance this business. Loans, there's grants, but man, it's a lot of work to get a grant, and that is not something that I'm real experienced in. I'm working on it. Do you want to it's so much woman owned, minority owned, veteran owned, and you can apply for this, sign up for these things, and the process is quite lengthy signing up for these things. But don't worry about that yet. Main thing, first thing is first, and that's your finances. So I talked about the saving. How much savings do you have? Do you need to take out a loan? Luckily, we did not have to take out a loan. Not luckily, thank God. To the glory of God, we did not have to take out a loan. I really didn't want to. A lot of these businesses, especially trucking, they fold quickly because the money that you got to put into it, the money or the loans. And we figured if we get a loan, then that is going to be another thing while we're getting our feet wet that we would have to worry about paying back. So most of all, like a lot of people have been asking me how you get started, or when I get started, I'm gonna be hitting you up for, advice or experience. My thing is, if you're serious about this, because you have to be serious to be successful in this. If you are serious in the trucking business, research, research, research. You can ask somebody all day long, that's not going to help you. Research, research, research. YouTube has so many videos that you can look at and learn. Just jot down note. Make sure you take. I got a notebook. When I first started, all I did was YouTube, YouTube, and take notes. And then after I took all my notes, not just YouTube, but Google the things you have taken notes on, YouTube, Google, write everything down. And then rewrite everything down in the order that you need to go in. Because if you just going by somebody else in the trucking business, then it's things changing all the time with the DOT. Things are changing all the time, and nobody knows it all. I'm still learning stuff. Recently, I just learned something else that if I would have known, I could have saved $500. This me not knowing cost me $500. So just don't take everybody advice. And most people that's in the business, they're busy themselves. They're learning still and getting loads and on the road, and it's a lot. But if you want to do it, you can. It's a lot no matter what. If you're working for somebody else, it's a lot. So you're worth it. Put that work into yourself. Put that time into yourself. Sometimes I would get frustrated. Sometimes my husband would get frustrated. And that's on a whole different level when you're working with your spouse. We didn't have almost knocked down. We didn't have big arguments on this business. He done said, I'm done. I'm not doing it. I quit. And I done said, I'm going back to Indianapolis. So just the stress of the business is something that you really need to have a passion for, to be an entrepreneur and own your own business, because anything worth having, it's worth working hard for. And so when we got into this business, we said we're going to go hard for at least the next 2 years. And then if he want to retire permanently after that, then he can. But the first 2 years, we want to go super hard, And have we made mistakes along the way? Oh, of course, yes. For one, I was just taking on too much, because the work is out there. It's out there if you want it. And I even start doing my own little brokering, dispatch. Later on, I want to hire somebody to do that. Focus on the main thing that you're doing, which for me is trucking. And I'm going to get into that later too. Um, are you going to hire a driver, or are you going to be the driver? The next thing, after you research on your own, and take your notes, then write down in order what you need to do. And then the most, and one of the, I'm saying everything is important because it's so many steps. Even what I'm giving you now is not all the steps. But then you get on the FMCSA website, which stands for Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. And this is where you will apply for your operating authority. You can't even, don't try to get on the road without it, because you need this for everything. Because even when you're getting loads, they check this. This is anybody can go on here and check to see if you're legit, if you have your license, if you have your bond, how long you've been in business, if you had any inspections. It tells the owner, the telephone number. So this makes you legit. This makes you legal. This makes you a certified motor carrier. So don't forget that. Get on the FMCSA website, and they got tons of information. So this is another way to get information, study, apply for your authority. When I applied for my authority, I think applying for your authority is like $300. So, and every authority that you get. So I had to apply for my broker's authority. That was $300, and I turn around and apply for my motor carrier's authority. And it takes, I can't quite remember, maybe a month or so. I can't remember how long it takes, but once you apply, then it's you apply online, and it's a takes a minute to apply, and then you got to make your payment right then. And then they'll send you something in the mail, say about 2 weeks later, saying they got your application and they're reviewing it. And then finally, you'll get your authority letter, which you keep, because you're going to have to send that authority letter when you're getting these loads. They want to see that authority letter. And it's something else that I learned getting started when we were like our first month or so trying to get loads. A lot of shippers and dispatchers, or shippers and brokers, they want you to be in business. Some say they won't even give you a load. Some say 6 months, some said 8 months, some said 12 months, then some said not until you have at least 3 inspections. So it's not like you're going to get in there and you're just going to get every load. You got to work for them loads. You got to call, and remember, while you calling for loads and trying to get loads and calling shippers, other people are too. But it's worth it. It's worth it if you get into it. So I said apply for your authority. You also need to apply for your LLC. So, and you do this with the Secretary of State. You can apply for your LLC. And before you apply for your LLC, get your EIN, a tax number. And then you apply for your LLC with the Secretary of State. I think that was like $300 as well. And what this does is a limited liability company, and this separates your personal accounts, your taxes, and your personal assets from your business. So say something happened, God forbid, somebody wanted to sue you, or anything, they couldn't come after your personal property, even with taxes. You file those separate. And then you make a list of everything you need to get started and the cost. We actually started having meetings like you would at your regular job. Paxton and I, we started having meetings. I got a big board, and right, you know, what we got to do here, what we need here, how much is that going to cost us, how much is this going to cost us. So we had a whole list of the money that we need and how much we had already spent. Keep track of your money and what you have spent. And we also went and opened up a business bank account. So with our business bank account, uh, the banker helped us because we just opened it jointly, and then for the business, I'm 51% owner. So that allows me to be able to apply for women owned business grants. So that's something to think about too. So I can apply for women owned, I can apply for minority owned. And I'm in the process of signing up for a minority owned. When I say this process, they want taxes, they want income statements. There's a lot of stuff. So I've been doing this for months, and I'm at the end of it. So I got to I'm gonna send them off shortly, but I gotta sign my final paperwork and get it notarized, and then send it out because they said there's grants out there and contracts, and so that's something to think about too. And when you make a list of everything you need to get started, what equipment will you be using and how much will it cost? So, equipment in terms of what type of truck. Your truck is your biggest commodity. So, no, next to the driver, but what type of truck are you going to be semi driving? So do you need a CDL? Do you have a CDL already? Because there's a certain weight. I think over 26,000 pounds, you need a CDL. And so are you going to be driving semis? Are you going to be driving just what type of truck? What type of truck do you want? And just shopping for our truck, it took a lot of shopping and detail. And I think he ended up going, I forgot where he might have went to Oklahoma to get the truck because we got a used truck and we didn't get a semi. We got just a regular Ford truck. So, what do they call them? Can't think of the name right now. But not only that, so if you're not getting a semi, we also had to price flatbeds to haul our stuff on. But the truck, he got such a good deal because we wanted to go into this business debt free. If you can do that, do that. Because we've heard so many people saying they couldn't make their monthly truck payment. They couldn't make their monthly trailer payment. So they went out of business before they could get even started. The trailer we bought, um, used trailer, although it was still a 2022, it was really new because the gentleman that had bought the trailer, he was going into the trucking business, right? But after getting into the FMCSA and the bond and the just all the cost of owning this business, he didn't even get into the business. So he sold us his trailer. And just give you an idea of the cost of a trailer. And remind you, this is a used trailer. Although it was 2022, we bought it from a gentleman, not right off the lot. And he hadn't even used it yet. But we paid $17.50. Yeah, we paid $17.50 for this trailer. So they're very expensive, and that's 17,000. So we did that. We got our truck, and a matter of fact, our trailer was more than our truck. We was pricing like new trucks. Oh my God. Because they know people want these trucks and for businesses, and they are just super overpriced. As a matter of fact, they if you take your truck in now, you'll probably get more than what you actually paid for the truck. And then they're just quadrupling what they're selling them for. You know, the for a new truck, the least amount that we were seeing at that time was 80,000. And I don't know how much they are now because it's a certain type of truck you got to get to be hauling all of this weight. So we wanted to go in there with no debt at all. We didn't want any debt. So we're going into savings. So the more we get into it, the deeper we get into spending all of this money, we got to make it work, you know. So applied for the LLC, Secretary of State, and I mailed it in. And I waited. I'm gonna tell you, I mailed that application in, start my research and everything in December, mailed that application in with the check in January. February came, March came. I never received it because they just kept telling me they're backlogged. When they get it, they will get it, and that was that. So we decided to. I told them to cancel that check if it when they get it because I'm gonna just apply online. So you can apply for your LLC online. So I just applied and paid for it online, and I got it within a month. So there's things you have to do with the DMV to get your cab card, um, the comptroller where you got to pay your taxes. So, but as you studying and looking at YouTube videos, you know what all of this is about. You got to sign up for random drug tests. Your driver has to be drug tested and entered into like a clearinghouse. They call it a clearinghouse where randomly you're selected for drug and alcohol testing. Okay, and as for entry into this business is government regulated and entry is very expensive. And because it's government regulated, you want to have your T's crossed and your I's dotted because you do not want to be pulled over by DOT for being overweight, over length, or something wrong with your truck, your straps. You want to have it together so that you won't be fined because that's more money. That's money out of your pocket. And they don't mind, DOT don't mind stopping you, pulling you over, and fining you, big fines. Paxton, he was pulled over. And I forgot, it was something about, I can't remember, but he pulled him over, the DOT officer pulled him over, pulled him to the side, and Paxton was able to fix it on site. So that was good. So that was his first inspection. And not to mention, like, he's not doing this with me now because he's out there working on the truck, changing the oil. He took it in for alignment, and you don't know what's going to happen with you on the road. Like just this past week, we was on the road, and he said the tires. He had just got these tires, probably not 3 months ago, and for our truck, it is 2, 4, 6 tires. So we on the road, and we just happened. He's loading up another load, and he noticed that the tires in some places look kind of warped or something. And so we had to ask him we leave the load there, and he found a discount tire, and we just had to go instantly and get 6 new tires on the spot. And so things pop up in business. So try to have a savings, because that's one of the things that can break you. We've had our truck break down when he was out of town, and with a load on it, and he's had to get a tow truck to tow him, the trailer, and the truck back to our house. I think that tow truck towing was like $600. And then he had to get another tow truck to come get the load and take the load back to where he got it from, because our truck was down. And our truck was down for maybe a month, 3 weeks to 4 weeks. Our truck was down. So that was no business. That was no loads, no money coming in. So right now, what we're doing, we're looking for another truck. And so we have a back. It's always good to have a backup truck. And another piece of advice: some brokers and shippers, they will not give you loads if you don't have a couple of trucks at least, because they like to have one for backup in case something happened, because they want to get their loads to where their load's supposed to be. Um, and oh, this is very important. Um, will you be driving? This is what I said I was going to come back to. Will you be driving your truck, or will you hire others? Now, for us, we decided just to drive our own truck while we're healthy and able. We decided we're going to drive our own truck, because who's going to care for our business more than us? Who's going to put their blood, sweat, and tears into this business more than us? And I've heard horror stories of people that have drivers. Drivers, they abandon ship, truck breakdown, not they truck, not they load, they done. And so, or they call in, or they do this, that it's not going to work as hard as you, unless you are blessed enough to get that worker that love your business close to how you love it, and they're hard workers, and they take care of the equipment, and they get that load there on time, in time. One horror story I heard was guy on his own trucking business. He got 2 semis. So he drive one semi, and then his driver drive one semi. And his driver would be late to work, or late picking up loads, and or he got to do something for his family, his kids, blah blah blah. And that does happen. Um, but all of a sudden he gets a better offer. So he just leaves. And they were cool. They were, you know, working together and had been working together, and he was good to his driver. And so he let him get them times off, and whatever, and filled in. Um, but he left. He what left to another trucking company. And when he got there, it was not what the lady said that it was going to be. And he was like, man, I had it better where I was. I had it good where I was, because he couldn't be late, couldn't be calling in at this other company. So he asked, could he have his job back? And against his the voice that was telling him, no, let him go, the business owner hired this man back. And so he continued to do what he was doing before, and they picked up loads from Amazon. And so finally, Amazon had it. Amazon was like, he's late too much. Um, we're going to put your company on suspension. You cannot have any of our loads for the next 6 months. Man. And this was one of his main business shippers that he shipped for. So this business owner cannot have loads from Amazon for 6 months. So he had to find something else to do, but he finally did get rid of that driver. And then I heard another story of a driver that He just left the load. It was a holiday. The truck had broke down. He just left the load. So the business owner, they had to go get their truck and that load because they didn't want nothing to happen to that load because that would have been on their insurance. And insurance is a whole different area. Have good credit because even with good credit on your insurance, insurance is expensive for a trucking company. Because you get your regular full covered insurance and you got to be insured for at least $1 million, and then I don't know the breakdown. And then some companies require not only that insurance of being insured for $1 million, but a second insurance, general liability insurance, for up to, well, for $2 million. So insurance is very, very expensive for a trucking company, let me tell you. All right. And so, yeah, we decided to drive our own truck, and it's not the glamorous life. Let me just say that. You're busy. So we're doing it all. We're booking our loads. We're calling shippers. We're calling brokers. We're calling dispatchers. And we're fighting with other people because they're calling too. So uh, you have to build relationships. And that is so important. Your customer service, okay, your degrees is not going to do what customer service can do. I have a degree, but it doesn't do, they don't ask me what type of degree I have. They don't care. But my customer service, and I tell my husband all the time, it will get you at the top of the list. I have them calling me, asking me, am I available? Because customer service is everything. You make people feel important. You make people feel valued. You do what you say you're going to do. You get there when you say you're going to get there. If you can't get there, then you call and let them know, give them an ETA, an estimate of what time you're going to be there. Customer service. Smart mouth ain't gonna get you, irritation ain't gonna get you nothing. And remember, this is your business. It's different you working for somebody else and you might get smart and stuff. But when you working for yourself, this is your business, your income, your money, your success. So work on your customer service. That's a class that I could teach, customer service. It's so important. It's so important. People remember your name, they remember your business, they want to give you the business. So remember that customer service, have A1 customer service when you're speaking to these people. Very, very important. You don't remember nothing else, remember that. But yeah, so like I said, we drive our own truck. It's not a glamorous life. We might be on the road 3 days, We might, and guess what? We sleep in that truck. My husband had made a little bed in the back. We nighttime come, we sleep in that truck, or daytime, whatever time we traveling. And some of the truck stops, you can go in, take showers, whatever, we get up, brush your teeth, do whatever we gotta do, and we back on that road. So yeah, when I get home, I'll be so happy to get in my bed. So happy. But the reason we don't get hotels because we got that load on the back. And people steal trailers, people steal loads, so it's important. We doing what we gotta do now. So later we can have it like gravy, So later, maybe we will hire a few drivers. I know my nephew, and I know a few people that probably will want family members that will want to work for us. That's another thing. The reason I don't have anybody working for me now because I'm so busy making this work. And Unless you can find somebody that is as passionate about it as you, then just wait, because your beginning stages, you want a good name. You want to be, um because they talk, the shippers talk, people talk, they'll report you. You have to, they'll give you bad ratings. Okay. So that is about it for now. I think I gave a lot of information for this brief time, and maybe I'll come back later and give you some more information, because it is a lot, and it is an order to all of these things. I probably didn't do it all in order, because some of the things I had to go back and redo, because just like I was saying about the comptroller for the taxes, it was a number that I needed on there to enter in there to get that, which I only could get from once a record number from my LLC from the Secretary of State. So I had to wait to get that number for that to come in, so I can put it on that, so that I can give that to the DMV to get my cab card. And then there's also IFTA, and that's your fuel taxes. So just uh, research, research, and be ready to work hard. But I'm telling you, it's worth it. It's so worth it, because the money is out there, the loads is out there. They're not going to jump in your lap. You're going to have to go for it. You're going to have to work for it, but it's worth it. It's worth working for yourself. And say, okay, I haven't taken a vacation this year because I wanted to save money, put my everything into this business, but that's okay, because if I wanted to, I work for myself. I can take a vacation anytime. But it's funny because uh, since I am working for myself, I didn't want to take a vacation this year. I wanted to put it all in, everything in there. So just like I'm planning on a Christmas trip to go see my children in December, my children and grandchildren, spend Christmas with them. If I was on a regular job, everybody wants off for Christmas. I would have had to pick between Christmas and Thanksgiving. But guess what? My kids is coming here for Thanksgiving. I can take those days off. I don't care how long they're going to be here. I can take how many days I want off for Christmas when I'm there. If I want, I can try. We can get a load going there for Christmas. And while we're there, if we want, we can get loads and spend time with the kids, or if not, we can just go and enjoy our family for Christmas, and nobody to answer to, no body to act funny, because we are off, no co-workers, no co-workers talking behind your back like you get all the holidays off. That's a whole nother story. I don't got no co-worker. Well, my co-worker is my husband, so we'll both be off. But guess what? Then when we spend that time, that valuable time, that most important time with our families, then we come back here and we hit it hard again. We work hard. And so on. But I can go anywhere I want to now. But guess what? I'm not going to take advantage of that. I'm going to work hard. Like, just imagine when I was working, where we got to put in restroom. You know, Everybody know you're going to the restroom. You know, how long can I be in the restroom? What if I'm in there too long? Or what if I have a day that I got to keep going to the restroom? So now all the other employees that talk behind your back, she stay in the restroom. She just, what if I'm sick? Really sick for a few days, or, you know, so the work that you put in is worth the bull crap that you won't have to go through, because on my last two jobs, when I say miserable, miserable. And I'm just going to put it out there. I hated them. I did. God, but I thank you, Lord Jesus, for giving me those jobs. I know it was a source from you in Jesus' name. And I do know that that was a source. The job wasn't my source. God was my source. Now he's allowing me to do this. So I'm happy about it. And then, I was worried about insurance. That's why I was keeping my job. But that ended up not being a problem. You too late, Pax.
Okay, I'm running. Here I am.
What you want to say?
Am I on the podcast?
Yeah, you want me to turn around?
Let me see. Hello, all friends and neighbors. What was that you wanted to talk to me about on the podcast today?
Oh, well, you too late.
I'm too late?
Yeah.
Well, in this business, I have to do all the maintenance. I'm the only maintenance guy around.
I said that. I said you was doing the maintenance.
So I'm sorry.
Well, you can tell them because one time you said that you should have been doing this a long time ago.
Yes, I should have. I thought about it a while back, but never took time out to research it or check it hard enough. It's not easy work, especially getting started. It's costly. And most people go under because the loans and things they have to get where they are, and then they don't always pan out. You wind up putting out a lot of money before you ever get on the road. So that was the advantage we had over other people starting out. So, but most of all, our advantage was being blessed and highly favored. So most of all, I'm appreciative of all of that, first of all. So it's not easy. We fun sometimes. We bonded a lot better, even more, should I say. And sleeping close proximity to each other, that's you get to know a whole lot more than in a king size bed, for sure. So we good, we still advancing and still got adventures in front of us, and if the good Lord's willing, we'll keep this going until one of the grandkids, kids or something decide to step in this and replace both of us.
Yes.
Put me out to pasture for sure. But anyway, like I said, I'm running late on maintenance, so I got to go and finish up my maintenance. I forgot. Sorry about that. But,
and that is so important too. Thank God that you're able to do our maintenance, because that's another cost that people got to think about too. If you wasn't doing our maintenance, the cost.
Costly. Like the last maintenance job, we had to do a water pump. That cost out of the zoo, going to the dealership or just going to your Joe Blow mechanic. So yeah.
What is that truck called that we got?
Which one?
The work truck. What are those called? With
dualies.
Dually, yeah.
Yeah. So just imagine the maintenance on a dually then compared to maintenance on a big semi. That's 5 times as much.
Right. And see, I've been talking about us getting a semi, but see, the one that does the maintenance, he knows what he don't want to deal with. It's not like I got to deal with the maintenance. But we'll see, maybe years down the line. We don't know, because we might have one of our kids, grandkids, well, not our kids probably, because Darnell ain't gonna want to drive a semi. Sophia, Dynasty, none of them gonna want to. Corey, Kiki, but maybe one of our grandsons will want to drive a semi. Who knows?
It may be interesting.
Nephew for sure.
It's there.
Yeah,
it's there, and it's really good if you already have the foundation set for them to start.
Yeah,
and they can just hit the ground running. And my advice to anybody, if you can get into it, go ahead, try it out. And if not for yourself to get it off the ground, just to get it off the ground for one of your offsprings. I mean, give them a start.
Yeah.
So often we give our kids a bad start at everything they're doing. They don't have anything to just already up and learn from. So try to build something for them before they ever get older or whatever, get the interest in something other besides a video game or dance and all these other things that's going on. Get them into church and get them something to occupy their mind, because kids need something to occupy their mind. And that could be something that, help you out in the long run. But anyway, I got to finish up my maintenance. I appreciate it, the invitation, but I got to go.
Thank you. All right, so that is our episode of Take a Fool's Advice. And thank you for being here. And maybe we'll come back again and give more steps of what we did, where we're at, to just give you an idea. And like my brother Sean Swanson would always say, shalom. God bless you guys.